I want to welcome y'all back to episode 2 of I Wish I Knew. This is just a little series where I go over things that I wish that I knew when I first started making music or just being a creative in general. The main focus of this episode, again, episode 2, is going to be what is your focus? I think it's like an all-encompassing thing, but the main thing is just like, what are you focusing on as an artist? What is your goals and what do you envision to be successful? Like what is success to you? To some people, it's different to everybody. To some people, they want to get 1 million listeners. Some people just want to be able to pay their bills off music. Some people are just doing this for a hobby, and some people are just doing it as a way to be creative and like find an outlet for their emotions and stuff. But the main thing is to find what your focus is and really lay the path to be able to get there specifically. Some people it happens quicker than others, and that's just kind of natural. But at the end of the day, it's what you do with everything on the way that helps you become an all-around artist or creative. For me personally, my main goal has kind of always just been to be able to make a living off of music and creating. And so that's kind of been the goal. And that's why I'm doing things like this now, is because when I started, I didn't really have very much advice. There wasn't a whole lot of things on YouTube of this nature or anywhere really where I could look at things or listen to people and see how they failed and how they succeeded and kind of use that to my advantage. So like I said, my focus is just to be able to create a living off this thing. And on that path, I've decided to dedicate myself to getting as good as I can musically, being more of a creative, speaking to you like this, and using whatever knowledge I've gained along the way to help the next person be in a better position quicker than it took me to get there. Another thing I was pointing out was define what success is to you. I touched on that previously, but I think it's just a very important thing because it's different for everybody. So you need to identify what is your main goal and what is success to you. If you can get those things in line, then you can start laying the path. It's doing shows, getting better at shows and performances, getting better in the studio, getting better at being a creative and finding better ideas and things like that. But it all is going to help you follow that path and create what your idea of success is. One of the great things that I've learned is you want to be a master of at least one or two things before you step into doing a bunch of other things. It's always really good to be versatile, and that's one thing that you are definitely going to have to learn. But you want to master whatever craft it is the best you can. You're always going to learn. You're never going to be perfect, but you really want to master what you're doing. For me, I make rap music, a little bit of R&B. And when I first started, I was just all over the place. And I think that was one of my mistakes. So you really want to focus on, if you're a real hip hop head and you just want to be spitting bars, that's cool and all. So I want you to just master that. Find a way to be able to create in all-encompassing stories and really get people to listen and pull your listener in and work on your bars, listen to artists that have a lot of creative bars and stuff like that, and really craft that story and become the artist you want to become before you start venturing into other things. And it's good to be versatile, like I said, but you really just want to have like one or two things that you try and perfect before you jump into the other one. You want to put your 10,000 hours in, but you don't want it to be everywhere and so sporadic. And that's kind of one of the mistakes that I made is I was trying to rap. I was trying to rap fast. I was trying to give you bars. I was trying to make emotional stuff. I was trying to sing. I was trying to do all these things. And at the end of the day, I never took the time to really perfect just one aspect on that before I moved on to the next. It's really hard as an artist because you want to do multiple different things, but along the way, you do want to experiment, but you want to really have a good focal point. And so, like I said, you just want to master your craft the best you can before you start moving into a million other different genres and different lanes. The next thing I want to say is focus on your story. As artists, creatives, typically we are the center of the story. There's odd instances where maybe you're behind a mask or, kind of like the gorillas where nobody sees their face or anything like that. But 90% of artists are the center of their own story. And how are you going to tell your story? As humans, we are programmed to listen to stories. Like, we love storytelling, whether it's movies, music, poetry, art. We relate to it because we love the story that goes behind it. So how are you going to tell your story? The best way to be authentic is to just tell your story. You're always going to have influences artistically and creatively and things like that. But if you tell your story and you stick to just doing that the best you can, and you make that your focus, it's going to help you tremendously. I think that that's really important. And that also leans into my next point, is to just be authentic. Authenticity is different to everybody, but to me, being authentic is just doing what is true to you. If you want to sing, even if you're really good at it or not, and that's what you really want to do, then take the time to get good at it and perfect your craft and be authentic and tell your story that way. If you just want to do bars, you can do it that way as well. But as long as you're authentic and staying true to yourself, then that's what matters the most. I feel like a lot of people kind of get stuck in this lane where the comments are always like, oh, he sounds like this and he sounds like that, or she sounds like this, or this reminds me of that. And that doesn't take away from your authenticity, because at the end of the day, you're just creating what you want to create. It's completely different if you go into it trying to sound just like somebody or be like somebody else. But focus on being authentic and staying true to your story. Again, in a roundabout way, this whole thing is just about, what is your focus? What do you envision successfully? And where do you want to go as an artist? And what is your focus? If you can kind of channel those three different things, I think that that's going to, it's going to cut down the amount of time for you to reach your goals and then start building on new ones. Along the way, you're going to have steps that are taken to get to your end goal. If you don't have steps or a plan in line, then you're just throwing stuff in the wind and hoping something sticks. You know what I'm saying? So have a plan, have a focus, and master your craft. I think that that's the most important thing. And be authentic along the way. You know what I'm saying? Don't be afraid to show people your personality. A lot of these are going to be a lot more like serious until I get a little bit more comfortable with the format and everything like that. But I think that one thing you really want to do is just be authentic and show your personality. If you want to lean into the funny stuff, man, just be the funny guy. If you want to be serious and you want to be the dream chaser guy, be that guy. If you want to be the creative or the person that helps other people, be that. But don't try and do a billion different things, because then you can't just focus on the one thing that you want to get better at and be the best at. Again, it's all focus. What is your focus? Master that, be authentic, and have a plan. If you do those 4 things, in my opinion, I think those are things that I really wish that I knew when I first started doing this. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. If y'all have anything in the comments below or things that you want me to touch on, I can touch on those in the upcoming episodes. I want to shout out all the people that have been giving me topics. I'm going to be getting to those in the weeks to come. I want to shout out Ghost Gang and shout out everybody that's been rocking with me from the jump. I love y'all. Peace out.